to the Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
What is up, Lock Shoppers? Welcome to the Lock Shop presented by Play Alberta on this Halloween. I am your host today, Pop-Tart Matawanek. Strawberry covered Pop-Tart Matawanek. Always remember to follow your dreams. And remember, dreams really do come true. I am a Pop-Tart mascot. Long live the greatest bowl game in college football history, and that is the Pop-Tart Bowl. So you could see, if for those watching on YouTube, there we go. The mouth is stuck. The mouth is stuck right now. There we go. I think I got this a little better. No, there we go. There it is. There's the full Pop-Tart for those watching on YouTube. For those listening on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tune in iHeartRadio or Apple Music. Unfortunately, you won't get to see the visual, but if you head to the YouTube later, you could see the visual of me in a Pop-Tart. We'll see if Huss has any sort of costume today. I'm just going to give the heads up. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the entire Lock Shop of getting on Play Alberta and doing everything I need to on a computer throughout this show. So at some point, this costume is going to have to come off. I will say that right now. But for now, I, the Pop-Tart, will host the Lock Shop. And remember, download the app, visit Play Alberta, playalberta.ca. Where is my mouse? The problem is I don't even know where my mouse is on my screen. There it is, EST Specials. What do we have up right now? Lock Shop parlay from yesterday that Huss and I built for the CFL. Winnipeg to cover 6.5, BC to cover 6.5 as well. So that's Bombers plus 6.5. That is the Lions minus 6.5. That is boosted to plus 245. Lots to get to on the show today. World Series, Game 6. The Toronto Blue Jays a chance to be World Series champs for the third time ever in franchise history. That gets going later tonight as well. We'll look at the National Football League. Dusty will not join us. Bad internet out at the Big O and busy with a little bit of sit-downs and events at tomorrow's games. But he has sent me his 5 games that he's picked for the National Football League. So we'll get Huss's picks. And I will give you Dusty's picks, and then we'll try to build a bit of a Lock Shop parlay for the National Football League weekend, as well as I haven't had time. I'll see if Huss has any player props, but we'll for sure build a Lock Shop parlay when it comes to the NFL games as well. We'll build something when it comes to the Toronto Blue Jays. Our play from Game 5 hit just a couple of nights ago, so Huss and I will look at that one momentarily here once he joins us on the show. Your thoughts welcome. It is in the nasty chat. I could see some of those ones. Rip City Step, Pop-Tart Bowl futures. I wish we had Pop-Tart Bowl futures. Actually, I have some sort of somebody does college bowl projections. College football projections for bowl games. What do we've got for that? Projections after week 9. Let's see who's projected in the Pop-Tart Bowl, which is the game. You can't. What's going on? Who's behind me? What's going on back here? Okay. The 2 bets. We've got Virginia versus Cincinnati. We've got Louisville versus Cincinnati. Those are the 2 projections for the Pop-Tart Bowl, the Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida, 3:30 on ABC. You can watch that game on December 27th. So keep that day locked into your calendar. December 27th, the Pop-Tart Bowl, the best Pop-Tart game you can have. Supersized Indiana Jones as well. Den cashed another grandest EST or grandest parlay last night. Well done. Is that back-to-back days? I know they did one earlier this week. Was it back-to-back days for you guys as well with that one? Good on you for that one. I know we threw that one in there. I didn't see what the number ended up being also on that one. And usually with those grandest parlays, they are a massive. I will say this too when it comes to the EST specials. Grandest parlay will go up there. They also on the Fridays. It's the Silliest Goose one where they throw out some. They take some shots and they build a big card and see if that one will hit. Rip City Step, what about the flavor of Pop-Tart that will get toasted? That's a really good question. I think that one is going to be held on a little closer until December 27th when we know who the versions are. I'll just say this right now. Like, they better... For those that don't know about the Pop-Tart Bowl, they have crushed it the last 2 years. Like, there have been a lot of bowl names, and they haven't gone... Like, they're just whatever. Pop-Tart brand and the people that are running this bowl game, they have gone all in on the Pop-Tart part of this. So it is a lot of fun to watch. Last year they had 3 Pop-Tarts. They resurrected the one that died from the year before. Well, not died, that got toasted and then eaten by the winning team. That one, as it went into the toaster, had the dreams really do come true sign. Last year, the winning Pop-Tart that got to be toasted and eaten by the winning team, which unfortunately wasn't my Miami Hurricanes, was Follow Your Dreams. The best part about that game, too, like there was all the fun. They had sprinkles around the end zone. It was just wonderful. It was such a quaint game. It was outstanding. So Big Uke saying around 4-1 was yesterday. So that's what the grandest parlay was yesterday. Game 6 tonight. You've got Yamamoto going to the mound against Gausman. Gausman 3-2 in this postseason. Yamamoto, he is Gausman is 2-2. And Yamamoto's 3-1. Gausman 2.55 ERA, while Yamamoto's a 1.57. Yamamoto with that complete game in Game 2. The Dodgers desperately needing him to replicate that performance from last weekend if they have any shot of forcing a Game 7 and seeing what happens on Saturday out in Toronto. But the Jays, their bats have been getting to all the pitchers for the most part outside of Yamamoto in this series, getting to Snell in 2 games, getting to Ohtani, and George Springer back into lineup as well in this one. So an added boost. Like that's also an impressive part. I think that when you're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays, of their wins the last few games, it was without George Springer. So that is your pitching lineup for tonight. If you look at Play Alberta right now, the Toronto Blue Jays, they're plus 121 on the money line. The Dodgers minus 143. The over-under is set in this game at 7.5. If you're looking also just World Series MVP odds, the change. We talked about this a little bit on the show yesterday. Those numbers changed from Ohtani was the clear favorite going into Game 5. Now Vladdy Jr. the clear favorite at minus 204. Then it's Alejandro Kirk at plus 2,500 if you are looking at a Toronto Blue Jay. Ohtani still the favorite Dodger at plus 230, and then Yamamoto is 12-1. So that's what you're looking at right now. And just outright, to win the series, the Toronto Blue Jays minus 238. The Dodgers are plus 190. So this is going to be fascinating. This is going to be incredible to see the scene that is going to happen in Toronto. And I believe out at the Scotiabank Arena, they're going to do a watch party. So there's even, it's Halloween, it's a Friday, and even more people are going to be going downtown in Toronto. They'll be trying to pack as much as they can inside Scotiabank Arena, as they will have just more people looking to celebrate the third World Series in Toronto Blue Jays franchise history, the last 2 coming in 92 and 93. With that said, let's bring him in, Hustler, on this Halloween. Huss, how we doing today?
I'm doing great, Iwanek. What an amazing costume.
Thank you. I'm the Pop-Tart mascot from the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Oh my God, that is incredible. Now, how are you able to see?
Yeah, I know. There's a mesh eye thing here that I could see. And just make sure dreams really do come true. Never forget.
How did you make that?
I made the sign. The costume is Spirit Halloween. I will just say that this is straight up Spirit Halloween. I love the Pop-Tart Bowl game. It's the best one. And last year, I'm going as a Pop-Tart. Like, this has been like a year-long thing for me going, I have to be a Pop-Tart because that is the best bowl game. I absolutely love that bowl game. And they have a thing with Spirit Halloween where there's a costume. So I was able to just be a strawberry-flavored Pop-Tart. So that's what I am today. And yeah, there's a mesh thing, but it is going to have to come off at some point because it's hard to see the screen. So when I'm looking at lots of things like that, I think I'm going to have to maybe take this off to deal with that. Actually, I think I can take this inside off. But yeah,
I'll be in a similar situation needing to put my glasses back on at some point. But let's get to the big topic before we even dive into everything. How are you handling Halloween with Game 6 of the World Series starting, I guess, at 6 your time, which is even more of a squeeze?
Well, for me as a Yankee fan, it doesn't matter to me. I couldn't care less in that sense.
Yeah, wait, you're not watching the games?
Well, I'll watch them. I'll watch them, but it's not like I'm going to my brother's place to hand out candy. the game will be on, but it's not like if I
You're
miss,
not really that locked in. Okay.
I'm not that locked into this. Like I am one of those people that it's just for me and who I cheer for. I'm not locked in like so many other Canadians are. Like the thing that'll be fascinating to me is what are TV numbers for today and or tomorrow if necessary. Like we have seen outrageous television numbers for this. I don't know what they're going to be because now we've got the weekend and all of that. But yeah, so for me, it's I'll just go about business as usual. And when I have to leave my brother's place, if the game's still on, like I'm not like, well, can I wait and stick around until the end? I will drive off home and when I get home, throw on the rest of it. So I'm in a different predicament than most people. I know there's a lot of other people though that are, okay, what am I going to do? For me, it's a little different.
Well, okay. Now, what about, regardless of the baseball game, being that you're not that locked in, I mean, you hitting the club, you going to a big party, you're going to be rocking the Pop-Tart around downtown Edmonton tonight? I mean, do you have anything else?
I've long passed the party of Halloween and all that. I will, like I go to my brother's place, him and his wife, my parents, they take the little ones out trick-or-treating. I hand out treats because if I don't do that, they're just going to leave a bowl out, and I don't believe in the bowl out. I think some kid's going to come and take all the candy, and I want to make sure as many kids as possible get candy. And then when that's done and they come back and the kids are ready to go to bed, I'll just head home. And when I get home, I'll watch the end of the baseball game and I'll throw on a horror movie tonight at some point. I have wanted to watch Weapons. I haven't watched Weapons yet. I don't know if you've watched Weapons. But I'll throw on some sort of Halloween movie and wrap up the Halloween and get to bed at somewhat of a reasonable time because I'm just old now. What about you?
Well, I'm going to be completely locked in. I will be at my local bar with probably the same people that I watched the last 3 games with. And there will be I live in a big building too. So, I mean, there's not like there's trick-or-treating as far as I know, like of kids coming like from door to door. I think there's like a little party down in the lobby. I'll say hi to some people as I ditch out to the game. But I am very, very excited about this game. I've got a bunch of friends that are going to be in the building for Game 6 tonight. And just having been there last weekend and knowing how nuts it was there, the fact that they're 1 win away and it's going to be Halloween in downtown Toronto, I can't even wrap my head around what the scene will be like if they somehow find a way to get this done tonight. So the scenes will be big. Just to your point about the viewership, Game 5 of the World Series is now the new most watched Blue Jays game ever, with an average audience of 7.2 million viewers. Through 5 games, the series is averaging 6.4 million viewers, with 19.3 million Canadians tuning in at some point. Here's an lock shop over under for you, Maddie. Considering it is Friday night and it is Halloween, but it's also a clinching scenario. Over or under the 7.2 million that watch Game 5 tonight?
I'll take the over. I would set the line at about a 7.5.
Okay.
I don't know if we'd get over 8.
I just think that they might lose a bunch of people that were locked in before. Like, I know most people are dialed in and, it's a priority of theirs, but even if you have 10% of those people that were locked in and watching on Wednesday that have Halloween or family plans or whatever, just the timing of it being Friday night with everything else going on, I was wondering whether they'd be able to get to that number tonight.
Yeah, people will lock in. Like, I think there's a lot of people that are like, I'll go this. There was a lot of hockey that was played on Tuesday. There was a lot of hockey played on Tuesday, and they got a massive number for that game. People were choosing baseball over the hockey, even if, and like all the teams, like the Oilers were in, the Jets were in, everyone's team were in it, but people were choosing the Toronto Blue Jays over that. That I think a lot of people, like, I think there'd be more parties, if anything, and I don't know how they figure that out, but they do account for that in some way, shape, or form. But I just think you're just going to have a lot more watch parties. I think you're going to have a lot more people go, hey, let's grab some buddies and come to my house and let's all watch the game, or let's all head to the bars and watch this game. And there's going to be just a lot of coming together for that. The fact that it is a series clincher that it's a chance that the Toronto Blue Jays, a very good chance, they're walking away World Series champs tonight. I think this number is huge. I would say if there's a game 7 necessary, that's the game where I would wonder, does it hit 8? Can it hit 8?
Oh, yeah. I think all
right?
bets are off if it's tomorrow.
Yeah. And if it's a game 7, that's where I would be, okay, are we going to see 8 or whatever it is? Which is, it's interesting to see because I don't, like, if Canada gets to a gold medal, here's who's going to have a bigger number? Jays game 6 or 7 or Canada gold medal men's hockey at the Olympics if they get there?
Great question. I actually think it might be the Blue Jays.
I agree with you.
And the reason I say that is mainly because of the timing of the game. I'm pretty sure that hockey game, I was just looking at the Olympic schedule yesterday. I think that game is going to start like around 9:30 a.m. Eastern or something like that. So, I mean, early morning, a little different than these prime time slots that the World Series have been.
Well, Four Nations final at 6.3 million in Canada.
And that was prime time.
That was prime time.
And that was so hyped. I mean, like getting
politically
to the end after what happened early on. Yeah, listen, I'm going to take Blue Jays. We'll revisit this.
Yeah.
We'll have to mention that down at some point.
Also, I always find these numbers interesting because, like, it's actually a thing that I've used for the CFL for a long time. Like, the CFL gets like 500,000, 600,000 viewers on TSN. It's kind of like what the UFL gets down south. I think the UFL gets a little bit more. The Canadian viewership number in game 4 I don't have for 5, was 7.2 million on Sportsnet. In the States, on Fox Deporte, and Fox Sports Streaming, it was 14.8. So they were just over double of what Canada is. They have 8 times the population of Canada. Like when you adjust for the amount of people in those countries, Canadian sports viewing is often extremely high, and we don't recognize that because we see, 7.2 looks big, but when you get like Grey Cup will be 3, and we sit there like, some people will be like, okay, it was just 3. But if you equate that to what that would be if we had a population of the U.S., like, it's a massive number still. So when you see 14.8, and you have one of the biggest television markets in the U.S. in it, and in Canada it's 7.2, it's just ridiculous numbers what sometimes we get here in Canada. But yeah, we'll have to pay attention later if Canada does get to that gold medal game. I don't remember what it was in 14. I just remember in 2014, the premiere at the time, because the game was 4 o'clock Edmonton time, 4 a.m. when they were out in Russia. The premier was loved for a short period of time because she let bars open at 4 a.m. serving alcohol so people could watch the game starting at 4 a.m. So bars had to close at 2, quick turnaround, get open for 4, and then they could serve booze again. And everyone was so happy with Alison Redford. That's all I remember from 14.
That was the same thing that happened here. I don't even remember who the premier was or how they did that, but it was a full green light. People were lined up at 4 a.m. to get into the bars. And then 5 a.m. it got going. The game ended. The blinding sunlight's coming in. It was one of those weird days and events that you'll always remember. And the other thing I do remember is that game sucked.
Yeah. Like, Canada's just too good.
Canada they were like a python and they just squeezed. I think the Swedes had like 12 shots on goal in that game. So it was a good thing people got together and, were able to have a big party around it because the game itself wasn't really something that totally delivered. Hey, I see the guys in the chat talking. Oh yes, the Nevada Day holiday. Are you guys? Are the Oilers playing the Vegas Golden Knights on a weird matinee game?
No, it looks like the Avs are. They're starting at 2:00 our time. I never heard of Nevada Day.
I was actually. It's funny. I had never heard about it either. But last year, when I went to I guess it was the Chief Raider game in Vegas, I was there for a couple days, and the Friday, which would be today, the Knights played the Ottawa Senators at 2:00, and it was the most random start time. And I found out that it was Nevada Day, and I was at the game. They did a bunch of things for that, so I guess that is a state holiday. But Lock Shoppers, the question of the day for all of you is: have your Halloween plans changed due to Game 6 of the World Series? Your point about leaving the bowl out, Maddie, this is going to be an all-time record for the amount of unattended bowls of candy that are left out. And
this would be a great time to be
around Edmonton, because, with your start time at 6, our start time at 7 is a little worse. I mean, out in the East with the 8 o'clock start time, come 8 o'clock, it's just, here's what's left.
Yeah.
Don't bug us. But I do wonder how that's going to work for people the further west you get.
Well, I wonder how many people, some people, they like bringing up fire pits over the years and sitting outside and all that. I wonder how many people bring TVs outside and have the Jays game as you're trick-or-treating. You're going to be seeing a lot of TVs maybe brought out. It's so simple to bring those out nowadays and throw those on.
Like there?
Weather's actually really nice. What's it supposed to get to today? It was cold this morning, but I think it's supposed to get to 10 degrees today. Overnight low is only 5 degrees, +5. So it's going to be a beautiful night for trick-or-treating. I guess it also depends on the age group. If you have a very young kid, you might be done trick-or-treating by 6:30, so you can get home, decent time. The ones that are a little bit older, a tough time. I think it's if there was any parents out there that were on that line of should we start letting our kids go by themselves or not, I think tonight might be one where they're going no, the kid's now old enough to go by themselves. But yeah, if you're out east, it's a lot easier. Or there's just a lot of grandparents getting the call to say, hey, do you want to take the kids trick-or-treating? And then, as you said, the bowl out front, that's gonna be an all-time high today. So I wish I was actually a 10-year-old, 11-year-old. The amount of candy you could probably go snag it. Or people are going to be in such a giving mood. They're in such a good mood that they'll just be throwing the candy and all of that. So let's get into this game. We got the Toronto Blue Jays +121 on the money line, over/under set at 1.5. For you, do the Jays do it tonight? Is this it? Is there no need for a game 7?
Listen, I think it's more likely than not that we're going to be tied up watching game 7 tomorrow night. But, I mean, and again, it's very hard to be unbiased. I mean, especially in Canada right now around this. If you feel like you have skin in the game, much like we did in the last game, I mean, you're sort of envisioning and putting together paths to victory. I was in the building last Saturday. I watched Yamamoto mow down 20 straight in one of the greatest pitching performances I've ever seen and one of the best in World Series history. It's going to be difficult to get to this guy tonight. If they can get to the bullpen, it was interesting, Maddie. I was just looking at the odds for the number of pitching outs. And the Yamamoto number was 18.5.
Yeah.
Which basically means getting one out in the 7th inning. I mean, to me, I think that is, I would be shocked if that didn't happen. Now, at that point, what does that do? I mean, you have Sasaki. The bottom line for the Dodgers is they don't want to get into that area in the middle of their bullpen that has been getting rocked by the Blue Jays all along. So, I mean, it is a big burden on Yamamoto. There's no doubt about it. The second time you see a pitcher, I think they'll probably be a little bit better prepared for it. Obviously, they're getting Springer back, most likely. Bo should be in the starting lineup. He wasn't in the starting lineup, and he's one of their top hitters, so he could make a difference. And I mean, man, they sure do have all the momentum. The one thing that why I kind of lean towards we're most likely going to be watching game 7 tomorrow is that there's nothing that can stop momentum and a hot team in its tracks like an absolute ace pitching at the top of the game. And that is what Yamamoto's been right now. Now, listen, tough to do that night after night after night. He's made history with these back-to-back complete games. So I certainly think that there's reasonable argument that the Jays will be able to keep doing what they're doing. But I was just so spooked with what I saw last Saturday. And I basically said to the guys afterwards, the Jays got to win 2 in LA because you can't come back. I mean, first of all, get it back. But if you do, facing that guy in a game where if you lose, you're done is not the situation that you want to be in. So listen, they've got themselves the extra out, but they'll be focused on trying to get it done tonight. And I got a feeling that this could be a real classic because I do think Kevin Gausman is going to step up and be another stud start like he had last week. I mean, That game on Saturday, he basically had 2 bad pitches in the game. The Dodgers took care of them. Other than that, I mean, he went 17 straight without retiring 17 straight, which was sort of lost in the fact that Yamamoto went 20 and pitched the complete game.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Like, I'm just looking at a bit of a parlay to build for this game. And I think if the Jays are going to win, if Yamamoto's seeing the 7th inning, the Jays aren't winning this baseball game. Yamamoto's dealing. Yamamoto's going. And I would like to think then that that's just the recipe. We're seeing Game 7. If Yamamoto is going into the 7th inning, that doesn't leave the Blue Jays a lot of time to get more runs. There's no way he's reaching that 7th if he's, unless the Jays, Gosman and the Jays are countering and they've only given up like 1 run, like a 1-1 game going in the 7th type thing. And so I would like to think if the Jays are winning, Yamamoto's coming out before the 7th. They need to get to him. They need to get to him early, and they need to just build up those pitches even just to get him out of there. How big of a boost do you think it is George Springer back in the lineup? Like the one thing, this team, they found 2 wins out in LA without George Springer. Yeah. And they actually almost won another game without him, with how long that 18 inning game went and how long they actually didn't have him in that game. They almost won that game. How big of a boost is a George Springer in the lineup for the Jays?
I mean, I think considering the guy that's on the bump, you need to have your best hitters. And Springer all year long has been sort of the emotional rock of this team and the MVP throughout the entire regular season. He has been a real tone setter for them, and it looked like that injury could be devastating to the club. We'll see. I mean, he's not going to play if he can't swing it, though. And if he's there, I mean, I think it's a real big boost. But to be honest, I think compared to the lineup that they threw out last Saturday against Yamamoto, it's having Bo Bichette in the lineup that's big. I mean, listen, you need your professional hitters to take on the best of the pitching of the other side, and Bo is certainly that. And listen, I know he's hobbled right now. He's basically a singles hitter, but he's able to get the bat on the ball. He's one of the best hitters when it comes to going up against the top level of pitching. So I actually think the Bo addition from Game 2 is the biggest plus for the Blue Jays. But make no mistake about it, George Springer having in the lineup, likely hitting leadoff is big as well. And they'll have as close to their full lineup as they've had maybe throughout the playoffs with everything on the line tonight and a chance to win the trophy.
I will, just because we won't be on tomorrow because of Saturday. So a hypothetical Jays don't get it done tonight. Who's feeling the pressure going into tomorrow? Who does a Game 7? Who's got the advantage going into a Game 7?
Well, I mean, I guess you could say the Dodgers because they're the defending champs and they've done it before. But on the other side of things, I'll argue that the Jays, who are the best home team all year long, have come back repeatedly. I mean, to me, it would basically be a pick'em. Now, Scherzer starting does make me a little nervous. But I've heard on the other side that if they go to 7, people are freaking out about Glasnow being the starter, and they may have to push Ohtani up and have him go on short rest. So a Game 7 to me, honestly, all bets are off. The series has been so good. Both of these teams are phenomenal in their own ways. The Dodgers have more of that high-powered individual. One guy can maybe just go out, take over, and make the difference. But, I mean, if you're not believing in what the Jays are capable of now, I don't know what to tell you. So I do think they get it done, but I kind of think it's more likely tomorrow than tonight.
I will say if the Dodgers ultimately do end up losing this World Series, it's fascinating just seeing what almost how few titles that they've had over the last X number of years where, they got to back-to-back World Series, lost. They eventually get it done in 2020. They got it done last year, though. But this has been a big payroll team for quite some time. And then they took a World Series winning team last year, added to it, and just couldn't get it done. They're these monsters that actually aren't crazy monsters in a sense. They have a little bit more bark than bite. If you look at the last 10 years of who the Dodgers have been and how scary that people have thought that they are, I wonder what the legacy of this team kind of becomes, because there was a point there where Dave Roberts almost got let go even because they just weren't winning World Series. and they spent all the money.
The World Series in 2020 to me doesn't really even count. I mean, I guess, yeah, they won in the playoffs, but I mean, it was such a short season. I mean, I don't think people take it as seriously and give it the respect that any of the other World Series have had. I mean, listen, if they lose, we could be talking about now again, they're almost at another level from the 90s Braves. But you remember the Braves, they won that division, I think 12 years in a row. They had Hall of Famer on their pitching staff. And they just kept on falling short in the playoffs. So I don't think we're into Braves territory. And listen, I do think that the Dodgers are going to be a problem for everybody for the next half dozen years for sure. But put it this way, if they finish up this year and they look at, falling short, in the World Series, you make a great point that I think you'd have to say that the results compared to what this team has been capable of and what was expected of them compared to their counterparts around the league, was somewhat disappointing.
Big time. I'm looking at a parlay to build Jay's money line. I'm putting a Yamamoto under 18.5 outs. What would you think is better, or is it both? Bo Bichette over 1.5 total bases, or George Springer hit?
I am thinking the 1.5 total bases is tough because Bo's not hitting any doubles. Like for any of the other players, if you want to think, okay, maybe they can go to double, you're basically needing to go 2 for 4 against Yamamoto if you're going with the over 1.5. So I think I'd probably go Springer hit. I mean, he's going to be leading off, so he'll get the most opportunities. I mean, for sure. And he's going to come back into that lineup looking to contribute and make a difference after watching his teammates sort of put him and the rest of the guys that were out on his back the last couple. So, yeah, I think I would say a Georgie hit for that one tonight. Do you like any Gausman?
What do I have for Gausman here? Gausman
strikeouts?
So strikeouts for Gausman is at 4.5 or 5.5. What has he done so far? Kevin Gausman.
In game 2, he struck out 6 in 6 2/3.
Yeah, in these playoffs, he's had 6, no strikeouts, 4, 5, 3. So in 3 of his 5 starts, he's had 4 or more strikeouts. I could bring that down to. We can make that. Well, if the Jays are winning, again, also Gausman's getting his outs, so we could either do Gausman's 4.5 strikeouts over 4.5, or we could set the over under for earned runs at under 3.5.
What about over 15.5 pitching outs?
So go Yamamoto under 8, the under, and Gausman over on that one.
Yeah, but again, there's an inning difference.
No, absolutely.
The Gausman number, we're getting basically he gets 1 out in the 6th inning.
And right now he's pitched 5 2/3, 5 2/3, 5 2/3. Oh yeah, one of these was games where he had the no strikeout, was the relief game in game 7, and then 6 2/3. So yeah, no, I like that one as well. If we did a Gausman over 15.5, Yamamoto under 18.5, Springer over 1 hit, and the Jays money line, that's plus 436 before a boost. So that's a nice little number. And again, if the Jays are winning, I think like we did in game 5, that's kind of the groundwork and the recipe and the blueprint for the Toronto Blue Jays to have clinched the World Series and have won their 3rd World Series in franchise history. Did you watch much of the NFL game yesterday?
I watched almost none of it. I was watching Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, and Gabriel Velarde put a freaking show on last night for the youngsters of the Chicago Blackhawks. That line was absolutely phenomenal. Did you see any of the highlights? Did you see Kyle Connor's backhand snipe at the end of the game?
I didn't see his snipe. Look it up right now.
Oh my God. Kyle Connor, his last 2 goals have been the guy's an assassin right now. His OT winner against Minnesota was one of the coolest, most nonchalant snipes you'll see. And then yesterday, Chicago had shown a bit of life late. He goes in, we're expecting a pass out, and from an absolutely obscene angle, he goes top shelf with a backhand over Spencer Knight's shoulder.
He's basically on the goal line.
Yeah. Those guys are feeling it right now. He, Velarde, Scheifele all had 3 points. I think Remus stacked that lineup in DraftKings last night and was doing a big-time touchdown dance at Canada Life Center after that came in last night.
Yeah, Ravens in that game. Lamar, he's back. The Ravens tried sending a statement out to the rest of the National Football League that they're coming back. Lamar now gets 10 days rest after dominating the Dolphins for the most part. Dolphins were in it for a bit there, but the Ravens then just ran away with it in the second half. So kind of like played out sort of how we kind of like expected to a degree. The line was 7.5, so the Ravens clearly cover that one. And really the first game where the team, against a good opponent on a big moment stage, the Dolphins maybe didn't fully show up for their coach. They have done it before, but the Ravens, they're now very much back in the AFC North picture. Steelers have the Colts this weekend. The Bengals have the Bears. The Browns are on a bye. So Ravens a big win as it closes some ground for that top spot in the North.
Yeah, very much back in it. Have you seen the odds this morning for the AFC North now?
Oh, I didn't see what they changed to.
Guess what? Just take a guess.
Well, Ravens were like minus 110 yesterday, so I'm going to go minus 300.
No, it's not that much. It's minus 175.
Yeah, okay.
For a team that's 3-5.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
I mean, and I mean the fact that since he lost last week, the Steelers have looked horrible the last 2 weeks, and are playing the Indianapolis Colts, who've been so good this week. Like, it could be a 9-8 team that wins this division. And I will admit, Maddie, listen, Baltimore has been one of the toughest outs for the Chiefs over the last couple of years. And, they've gone into Baltimore and beat them, and, they beat them and handled them in the playoffs and in the big games. But I got to tell you, as pumped as I am about the way Kansas City looks and, moving forward, the thought of the Ravens coming in as a wild card or like, a 4 seed into the playoffs, knowing that what they'd have to do in the back end of the season to get in actually scares the hell out of me, because we do know that at their best, the Ravens can go toe to toe with anybody in the National Football League.
No, yeah, and that's the thing. Like they're a little bit of that scary team that if they get the playoffs, it's okay. Well, you're still taking the Chiefs, you're still taking the Bills ahead of them. But this is they're kind of now at that point they're back, and okay, what can they do? Lamar could just go off in any game, and all of a sudden you're done. You've lost. So we were talking about it on the hangout. What is that number for the Ravens? Comfortably in the AFC, usually 10 wins will get you in, but because of the division, like 8 wins might actually do that division even to a degree. So we will have to see. The big thing is like the Ravens, they'll get the Vikings. I know the Jets are in there. Forgot if there's someone else in there. But there's a big 3 in a row very soon where it goes Bengals, Steelers, Bengals. Ravens absolutely need to go take 2 out of 3 of those, if not all 3. And if they do that, they'll absolutely be in control of the AFC North. Dusty won't be joining us today. He's busy at the Big O. He has sent me picks though. So yeah, I do have his picks.
Noticed that. I just went and looked. Let me do my picks without looking at his.
Perfect.
And then we'll kind of see where we come in, and we can put things all together.
Okay. So where do you want to begin with your picks?
Before I begin, I do want you as a Ravens guy, no skin in the game, Bills, Chiefs. What is your thought on this game? The game of the week, America's game of the week. 325, 225 out there. Kansas City at Buffalo. Chiefs is a short favorite, 1.5 or 2 points. What side are you on this one?
Yeah, this is I never was ready to be one of those people that was ready to down and out the Kansas City Chiefs, unlike Dusty, who declared many weeks ago that they're not winning the Super Bowl. You never, Chiefs don't win Super Bowls in the early parts of the season. They get better near the end, but they turn it on and they'll be fine. Like that's when they do it, is in January. This is a big game. They're playing for a division. They're now not running away with the division like they've had maybe in a few other years. And going up against the Bills team that's also in a fight for a divisional spot, which is absolutely fascinating to see. To me, I will always lean towards Chiefs when they take on the Bills. I'll always take the Chiefs when they take on the Ravens, both those two teams, because historically, we've seen Patrick Mahomes beat Josh Allen. We've seen him beat Lamar Jackson. That said, it seems Josh Allen, I think more recently, has played. I feel like he'll be a guy that's going to get that win in the regular season against the Chiefs, and then the Chiefs are going to show him in the playoffs, and no, we're still the team of the AFC. The Bills, I will just defer that they're the home team in this one. I think it's that tight that this just comes down to who's got the crowd behind them, who's got the home team, that I'm expecting a very good, close football game, like a 24-21 late field goal that wins it for the Buffalo Bills. But I think that's almost beneficial for the Chiefs because they'll remember that come playoff time, and if these two teams meet, the Chiefs won't forget that, and they'll take out the Bills. That's just kind of the story that we've seen out of these two teams over the last number of years.
Yeah, I'm listen, I'm going to start it off. I'm taking Kansas City. -1.5 at -114, -2. I think I'll take the 1.5 just so there's not a possibility of a push, because I do think this could be a close game. It could come down to a missed 2-point convert or something like that. So normally the difference between 1.5 to 2.5 doesn't really faze me. This game, it kind of does. And, from what I'm seeing, it's not a huge difference from 2 to 1.5. Listen, I think we saw the Chiefs in the second half against Washington after a pretty sloppy and mid first half get ready to play at that level that they're going to have to if they want to win against the Bills. But they're healthy right now for the most part. The offense is together, and it's getting better and more lethal every game out right now that Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy is back. I have to tell you, I am still, and you'll recall, what was it after they were 4-0? I was saying, are we sure that the Bills are really good?
Yeah.
Like, we saw the teams that they played, and they were 2-14. That number got even worse as the next couple games went in. And then they went and, lost a couple games to, teams that I think most people thought that they would beat, especially Atlanta, and then went into the bye. I don't take a lot from their smashing of Carolina last week. That's a team that's kind of in disarray defensively, and the Chiefs defense has been the one constant, continuing to play at a really high level. So I think this is going to be a big test to see whether the Bills can actually hang with Kansas City. But I do love the Chiefs in this game. I mean, say it's a homer pick, no problem. This team wins more often than not. And in a tight game against the Bill, and listen, I know you said that there could be a bit of a layoff. They are still technically third place in the AFC West.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Chargers have an easy game. The Broncos have been playing really well. So they kind of lost their wiggle room earlier this year. And that actually makes me more confident that they'll find a way to get it done. So I'm going to start off with Kansas City as my first pick for the week. I'll tell you this. I've been going through, there's some really interesting and fishy 2.5-point spreads. I mean, right now, the Bengals are 2.5-point home dogs. The Giants are 2.5-point home dogs. The Raiders are 2.5-point home dogs. And the Cowboys on Monday night are just 2.5-point home favorites. And that 2.5 number is always a little weird. I mean, they're really trying to get you to go on one side. I'm actually going to go to one of those 2.5-point home dogs. I'm going to take the Bengals at home to the Chicago Bears. Now, I know that Joe Flacco hasn't been doing much at practice this week. I expect that he'll play. And as long as Flacco's in the pocket, able to throw the football, it's going to be a lot of Jamar Chase. It's going to be a lot of T. Higgins, although it was almost exclusively Jamar Chase last week in that game against the Jets, which was kind of weird. I had a T. Higgins prop like early in the game, gets a 44-yard touchdown, and that was it. But, man, I was going through the injury report of Chicago, and, like, I'm not really sold on the Bears to begin with, but pretty much every one of their skill position players on offense has been out or limited in practice this week. Here's what the Bears are looking at. DeAndre Swift, groin, DNP, did not practice Wednesday or Thursday. Roshan Johnson as well did not practice. DJ Moore and Roma Dunze were limited on Thursday after not practicing on Wednesday. Luther Burden is out with concussion. And Zacchaeus, with a knee injury, didn't practice Wednesday and was limited. So, I mean, I'm sure some of those guys will play. How well they'll play, I think, is up in the air. I'll be honest, I still have major reservations about Caleb Williams, even though they're going up against the Bengals defense. I think Cincinnati can actually win this game outright. I will take the 2.5 points with the Bengals for my second pick. I've got a bunch of these, and I'm going to change it up a little bit. I like New England in this game. And I know I've kind of been the one to say, hey, Atlanta's the Jekyll and Hyde team. Zig when they're zagging. They lost 2 weeks ago, so we thought, okay, this is the week. Last week, they've got Miami at home, 7.5 point favorites they run, and they got smashed. Now they're going on the road to New England to take on a team that is as offensively consistent as just about any in the league. Like, with the exception of that one game, they had 5 turnovers against the Steelers. Drake May, there's a reason why Drake May is in the conversation for the MVP right now. So New England at -5, to me, anything under a touchdown for New England is a very bettable number. So I'm going to take New England in that spot. I got 2 other picks. I was thinking Dallas. There's a couple of huge underdogs as well, Carolina and New Orleans. But I'm going to go to the Chargers. The Chargers, what's that number now? 8.5, I think.
We've got 9.5, but it was 8.5 earlier.
You know what? Whatever. I'll do the 9.5. I mean, the Titans, as we saw last week, they got a touchdown early in the first quarter, great, and then just get steamrolled the rest of the way. That Kamani Vidal's had a couple big games in the place of Omarion Hampton, and Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is, I don't know whether it's the extra juice he's got from canoodling with Madison Beer, or we're just finally seeing what he's capable of. But although I would say he's been doing a lot of Halloween parties, he's been at the World Series.
He stayed late at the World Series.
Pardon me?
He was at the long World Series game too. How long did he stay?
Yeah, well, who knows? I mean, they got on TV. That's probably what she wanted, and then they were gone. So it was hilarious because they were sitting beside the Biebers, and they're all talking, like Madison and whoever, Haley, I think is Bieber's wife's name, and Justin. And you look, and Herbert is just locked in.
He's focused. He's there to watch a baseball game. They're there to have a socialize and be seen and all of that. There's the pro athlete in him.
But anyways, Chargers -9.5. I think they go in and, have their way offensively against Tennessee, and Jim Harbaugh is not going to be looking to make this a close game. So those are 4 picks. I need one more. I was considering taking the massive 14 points with the Saints. I would consider taking the 13 points with the Panthers, to be honest with you. I did look this up, Maddie. This season, teams that lost by double digits the previous week are covering the spread 63% of times. So I think one of those 2 teams are going to do it. But you know what? I'm just going to go with, this is another favorite. I took the things. Yeah, I'm going to roll with Dusty's Lions at 8.5. Minnesota is in a tough spot. I'm not sure that they wanted to bring back JJ McCarthy this early, but they have no other choice. And it is going to be a little sink or swim. And as much as I'm still really high on him and his potential going forward, this is a really tough place to come right back in, going up against the Detroit Lions. Listen, if he can have his team in this game, it'll be a huge statement that they're not dead. But to me, I think we're kind of talking about a next year program, and that all the playing time is going to be valuable for him. But I mean, Kamani Vidal gashed them for 120 something on 21 carries. What's Jahmyr Gibbs going to do? What's David Montgomery going to do? I would think Detroit slams it on Minnesota. So I'll take Detroit minus 8.5. LAC minus 9.5, New England minus 5, Cincy plus 2.5, and KC minus 1.5. I like big reveal on Dusty's picks, Matty.
Yeah. Well, you guys differ on one, the same on one, and then 3 different ones. That's why he's got Chargers minus 8.5 at the time. So I would just go lock in at Chargers 8.5. Since he has that, you have that, go 8.5. So you both are agreeing with the LA Chargers at minus 8.5. He's opposite with you with America's game of the week, which is Chiefs and Bills. He's got the Bills plus 2 in that football game.
Love it.
The 3 games that he has different. The Denver Broncos. They are taking on, I just want to make, yeah, why am I not seeing it on? Oh, there it is. They are taking on Houston. Houston is the favorite in this one, but so he's on the Broncos at plus 2.5. Then you've got the Colts who are taking on the Steelers. The Colts, he is taking the Colts minus 3. And then the Jaguars and the Vegas Raiders, he's got the Jags minus 2.5 in that football game. So again, he agrees with you on the Chargers. You and him disagree, Chiefs, Bills, but then he's got the Broncos plus 2.5, Colts minus 3, Jags minus 2.5. So the start of a little 3-game parlay simple. I think Chargers minus 8.5, that's going in since you both agree on that one. I'm thinking, I think he'll have no problem with this then. Throwing the Lions minus 8.5 in there too. That's his team.
Yep.
And then what would you throw? What else would you want to throw in then?
Let's see. Well, the Cincy pick is just one of these stinky underdogs. I think Houston's very live to beat Denver. I'm sort of pulling them in. I don't trust Jacksonville at all. I was actually thinking about taking the Raiders. And I looked in the mirror and went, "You're going to take the Raiders?" And I just crossed the game off. You know what? I think we got to go with Indy.
Sure.
I think we got to go with Indy at minus 3. Now, I guess if
as a Ravens fan, I'll love that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, dude, Indy has been so good this year. Now, if you take it to 2.5, it goes to like from minus 112 to about minus 125. But again, they'll take care of a bit of a boost. I could see it being close, but yeah, let's do Chargers 8.5, Detroit 8.5, Indy 2.5 for the partner parlay. I think that's a beauty.
Love it. Haas, all the best with the games this weekend with the Jays tonight. What's coming up on WST? I'm assuming a lot of Jays talk. And then you've got the Bombers tomorrow. So you've got a couple big playoff games happening tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, I would really like the Jays to get it done tonight because otherwise my itinerary is going to be Bomber game 1 o'clock, Jet game 2 o'clock, Jays World Series game 7 o'clock. And that could really deplete the levels for what should be a huge Sunday highlighted by Chiefs Bills. So one of the best sports weekends of the year. Let's get it on, Matty.
WST also marbles today.
Oh, you know it. Yeah, we're going to have Hammers. Jeff Hamilton will be on. We'll kind of talk Bombers and get ready for the game tomorrow. Lots on the Jets ahead of, how about this? Battle of the top 2 teams in the NHL tomorrow. The Jets and the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Beautiful.
Who saw that coming?
Kyle Dubas knows what he's doing.
8-3 with a bunch of teams. So we're going to be all over that. We'll have Hacksaw coming on for the NFL Notebook, and we will do marbles right around 3 p.m. Central, 2 o'clock Edmonton time. ESTers all welcome to pop in and have some fun with us.
Haas, have a great Halloween. Have a great weekend. I think I'm actually chatting with you on Monday.
Right on, pal. Looking forward to it.
There's Haas, him and Remus coming up. Winnipeg Sports Talk. Check them out. EST afternoons coming up. Hernan and Gager. That's at 1 o'clock. We've got the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Mill from 3 to 6. But next up, it will be the Oil Stream live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. I believe that's going to be Tom Gazzola and Reed Wilkins. I want 2 messages for you to take into this weekend. 1, dreams really do come true. And always follow your dreams. Long live the Pop-Tart Bowl. Long live Pop-Tarts. Thank you to everyone for tuning into the Lock Shop presented by Play Alberta right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. I can't believe I actually did the whole Lock Shop with the costume on. I'm very proud of myself for that one, not going to lie. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. On behalf of us, I'm Matt. Thank you once again. Oil Stream coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.